Welcome to Car Comparos. Today we'll be comparing the Maruti Suzuki Ignis versus the Renault Kwid. Pricing and features. Ignis Delta 80 petrol costs 6.2 lakh rupees on road Delhi, which is a good 1.3 lakh rupees more than the Kwid's 1.0 RXT AMT variant costing 4.9 lakh. The Kwid is also available in an 800cc manual geared RXT-O version retailing for 4.3 lakh, while the cheapest Ignis, the Sigma petrol, retails for 4.9 lakh rupees, which is 60,000 rupees higher. But does the Kwid maintain an advantage over the Ignis when you factor in the resale value? Let's find out. Both cars have a few extra features which are absent in the other car. The Ignis Delta 80 has ABS, passenger airbag, electrically adjustable mirrors and rear power windows, which is absent in the Kwid AMT, while the Kwid has touchscreen, navigation and fog lamps, which are absent in the Ignis Delta 80. Performance and drivability. Let's discuss the automatics first. The Kwid has managed to make the best use of an AMT, followed by the Ignis petrol and then the Ignis diesel. The Kwid has the quickest gear shifts and responds willingly to throttle inputs. Ignis also reacts to pedal inputs very well, but shifts take a bit more time in both the petrol as well as the diesel variants. Smoothness of shifts is also equally good in the Kwid and the petrol Ignis, while the diesel Ignis feels a bit jerky. Amongst the manuals, the Kwid feels totally outclassed against the Ignis petrol. Ignis's performance, refinement and rev happiness is generations ahead of the Kwid's. The Ignis diesel is even better with a kick-ass mid-range, which is evident from its 50% higher torque-to-weight ratio compared to the petrols. Fuel efficiency. Overall, the Kwid was hardly 1 kmpl more efficient than the Ignis petrol. The diesel Ignis though was over 3 kmpl more efficient than the petrol Kwid, which equates to a savings of more than 1 lakh rupees over a usage of 75,000 kilometers. Space and comfort. Both cars have managed to liberate impressive amounts of space inside their cabins given their tiny footprints. The Ignis has better rear seat space than the Kwid, while the Kwid has a bigger boot. Ignis's interiors though are noticeably better put together than the Kwid's bargain basement cabin. Handling and ride quality. The Kwid is no match to the Ignis when it comes to dynamics. Ignis feels far more eager and responsive to driver's inputs than the Kwid. However, Ignis's ride feels a bit stiffer compared to the Kwid's. Also, after being in denial for over 20 years, manufacturers seem to have finally acknowledged the fact that Indian cars, even entry-level hatchbacks, need to have higher ground clearance, which in case of these two cars is a good 180 mm, making them least likely to scrape their underbodies over speed breakers and potholes. Reliability and after-sales service. One parameter where Renault still has a long way to go before it catches up with Maruti is in terms of reliability and after-sales service in our country. Given that the Kwid has been majorly developed in India, it has a brand new unproven powertrain, and given Renault's poor track record at quality in surveys like JD Power, it is only fair to adopt a wait and watch policy for a few more months before putting your hard-earned money down on the Kwid. Then there's the problem of service availability.
Introducing the new Renault Kwid AMT, booking support. Renault, passion for life.
8,000 plus touch points. Resale and cost of ownership. The Ignis manual as well as automatic is bound to fetch at least a lakh rupees more than the equivalent Kwid in the used car market after a usage of 5 to 7 years. Overall, this makes the Ignis Delta 80 just 30,000 rupees more expensive than the Kwid AMT in terms of overall ownership cost. Even the Ignis Sigma works out to be just as light on the pocket as the Kwid 800 RXT-O in the long term. That brings us to the verdict. Technically, the Ignis Delta 80 is a superior automobile than the Kwid. It has noticeably better performance, refinement and dynamics than the Kwid. Both cars are just as practical as each other, as well as equally well suited to Indian road conditions as well. However, Ignis Delta 80 is better value for money than the Kwid AMT since it provides indispensable safety features like ABS and passenger airbag, which are not available on the Kwid even as an option, and yet costs only 30,000 rupees more than the Kwid AMT in the long term. However, we know that there are times when our budget simply doesn't allow us to go for the higher priced car even though we know that it is better value for money, in which case we wholeheartedly recommend the Kwid AMT. Renault has actually done a better job of tuning the AMT than the Ignis, resulting in lesser rollback on inclines and smoother as well as quicker gear shifts. But if you can afford to pay a marginally higher EMI, you should go for the safer, more reliable option of the two, which is the Ignis Delta 80, our chosen pick of this comparison.